Hey guys, it's your best boxing friends. I'm Kelsey. This is Rachel. Rachel, Rosho Nastovich cannot guard Shaquille O'Neal. That's true, Stephen A. Smith, but what Stephen A. Smith isn't quite known really for saying the truth, right, Rachel? There's all this hubbub right now about Stephen A. Smith's tweets, and I guess he also went on First Take or another ESPN show and also talked about Andy Ruiz's epic, shocking upset of Anthony Joshua. People took issue with when he took to Twitter and called Andy Ruiz some guy named Andy Ruiz. If Andy Ruiz was a nobody.
Well, after calling him Butterbean.
Butterbean, some bum off the street. Yeah, likening him even to Butterbean, who was if you don't remember Butterbean was, what was it? Oh, Tough Man competition fighter who also was promoted as a professional boxer. Butterbean never became anything close to being heavyweight champion of the world. Andy Ruiz is unified heavyweight champion of the world, had already challenged for a world title in a fight against Joseph Parker. Many people thought that, at least some people thought that he deserved to win that fight, lost a decision, close decision fight. What do you think about Stephen A. Smith in the sport of boxing? Do you think he's good, Rachel, or bad?
Well, I think he hit a what do you call it? A thing of luck with having Canelo quote tweet his tweet for him. So
Yeah.
regardless of what Canelo said, that is like a big, huge push, and I'm sure he was very, very happy about that.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that people say they don't want more Stephen A. Smith, and yet Stephen A. Smith is basically the highest paid, most well-known internet troll in the world. And I don't mean, I'm saying it for what it is. That's what he does.
Yeah.
And if you know anything about internet trolls, which exists, and heck, I've been an internet troll before, what they want attention. They want people to they're trying to elicit an emotional response from you with the things that they say and do. And that's exactly what Stephen A. Smith did. That's what he got back from you, boxing fans, and people out there, from Canelo, from other people, all sorts of people who wanted to lash out at Stephen A. Smith for being Stephen A. Smith. But really, you're just giving him what he wants. And you're actually supporting Stephen A. Smith in a critical way, even though you say you don't want to support him. But that supports Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
And I just think the whole thing is silly in a way, because I think that I understand how you feel when you see people like Stephen A. Smith say dumb things about the sport that you love and I love and Rachel loves. But at the same time, Stephen A. Smith is the most well-known ESPN sportscaster, celebrity type guy in the world. He gets paid the most, I'm pretty sure, from ESPN. And don't you want Stephen A. Smith talking about boxing? Because isn't that what you want? You want mainstream people interested in the sport of boxing. I see this a lot in lesser ways sometimes, where fans of all types will talk about the fight, celebrity or not, and people that are in boxing, that are in our little boxing world, lash out at these people for not knowing this or that. But isn't that what you want? More people to be involved in the sport? Don't you really want Stephen A. Smith in boxing? Rachel, what do you think?
I would say I don't want Stephen A. Smith in sports at all. So that's my overriding desire, is that I'm not a fan of this kind of, I don't know, whatever you call it, internet trolling as, masquerading as a real job. I don't want that at all. So what I would like is for all of us to, I think it would have been better if Canelo would have just come out on Twitter and said, hey, boxing people, I want us all to ignore Stephen A. Smith from now on.
But isn't it also still giving Stephen A. Smith attention?
Well, only for that moment, though. Then we all really ignore him. Canelo, use your celebrity for good. Don't, because anything you say about what Stephen A. Smith tweets or whatever, if you critique him, he's going to turn it all back around into something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what he did.
He just claimed that Canelo was, ignorant. It's mind-blowing. So that's all that I'm saying. I'm saying that the whole world would be better off without internet trolling, masquerading as a professional job.
The whole sporting world in general, and if you want to just localize this to boxing, we can, would be better off if big companies like ESPN or anybody in boxing, Showtime Sports, whoever, really cared about integrity and class the way that I think big companies used to do. They don't do that anymore. It's just the plain fact. That's why Paulie Malignaggi can run around and spit at things and say that he wants to kill his bare-knuckle boxing opponent in a boxing ring. and he still has a job. In the old days, that would not happen. But it's because companies don't care anymore. They want attention. They know the power of this internet troll type activity, and they want to cash in on it. I think it makes the world a worse place, but at the same time, I don't really feel a lot of emotion about it because I think that's just how things are, and it really doesn't affect my life beyond that. Like when I saw Stephen A. Smith's tweet, all I know is that like if you're out there, and I wrote about this for one of the sites I write for, bookies.com or gambling.com. I don't know where it's going to be a bullshit. But basically, it says if you're consuming content before you want to bet on a fight, then you better make sure that you're consuming the right content, and that means you avoid people like Stephen A. Smith because he has consistently shown over time he doesn't really follow the sport of boxing. He might like big fights. He likes the atmosphere. Everybody likes that. Heck, you can talk to people on the street who are like, "Oh, I like boxing." Well, what fighters do you know that? Mike Tyson. Yeah, that was 20 years ago, guy. That was a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
And he's one of those people. But to avoid people like him, if you're really interested in learning about or understanding the sport, because he's just going to dilute what good content is out there. And there's not a lot of truly good content out there. The problem, to go beyond the Stephen A. Smith story, is that a lot of the content is produced by people that have financial incentive to sell you the fight. So like the television network, the promoters, all these people aren't trying to give you the truth about anything or their opinion on the truth even, really. They're trying to sell you something. And that's like a big difference in the world today that we live in. I don't think the story I make up about journalism in general is it wasn't like that a long time ago, but it is today. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think with the onset of social media and the internet, the idea of like people realizing that like, oh, we can just get people to click on this and we get paid via clicks.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems different than. But that said, I mean, things like the National Enquirer have been around forever, and clearly they make money because they've been around for so long.
They're so
like, I just feel like I always think that consumers are really powerful, and so what you click on, what you buy has an effect. So like you have to think, like when you look out there and you're upset with somebody like Stephen A. Smith, I think you need to turn around and be like, well, how disciplined am I? Because am I clicking on like
Am I retweeting him?
Yeah.
What?
Am I clicking on his stories? Am I, or if you take it outside of the sport of boxing, am I buying the National Enquirer? Am I watching like e-television to find out what's going on with all the celebrities? You can't simultaneously complain about the clickbait mentality while also participating in it.
It's just dumb.
Well, you can.
Yeah.
But like it doesn't make sense. So I think anytime we sit there and complain about somebody, we have to turn it back around and be like, well, how disciplined am I? Am I willing to no longer like consider Stephen A. Smith? That when a big fight happens, am I not going to watch? Whatever show that he has. I don't know if it's first.
Well, I don't want to say that exactly because you do at least have next to him Max Kellerman, who is a boxing guy who does know about boxing.
Always, watch Max Kellerman.
Yeah.
And you can trust Max.
Especially in boxing.
But like just things that are solely like Stephen A. Smith, you just have to ask yourself, are you willing to do that? And then it just takes all of us, to be a little more disciplined in those things.
We really all do need to be a little more disciplined. I know, for example, I always ask you to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm not even sure I've liked, comment, and subscribed my own videos. Is that wrong? I'm going to start doing it today. I would ask you to join me and Rachel's. We like, comment, or subscribe our way, all the way to the top. We will usurp Stephen A. Smith and become the ultimate internet trolls. Trolls.